and welcome to Get Fit Friday. Today I'm going to go over a series of thera-band exercises that you can use at your house or at a gym if there's thera-bands there, or you bring your own, that might help with just prevention or injury prevention for rotator cuff or impingement syndrome, or other rotator type injuries of the shoulder, to just work on the stability of it. So I'm going to go through 4 or 5 exercises that you can start working on. And you don't need a very heavy band, so anywhere from like the red up to the blue is probably plenty for these because they're just small little muscles in your shoulder. It's important to have good shoulder stability for anyone who does overhead work, overhead sports, to prevent injury, so that later down the road you're not getting these major surgeries that take over 6 months to a year of your life to get back to normal. So let's just go over a few of these and I'll try to explain them as best as I can, and you can start working on them on your own. So the first one I'm going to show you is for the outward rotator. So this kind of area back here on your shoulder blade does this kind of opening motion of the shoulder. So we're going to start with that one. You can always add a towel roll between your body and your arm if you need to. I'm just going to skip that for today. So you want to start with the anchor point right around elbow height, and then you're going to keep your body in really good posture. So neck and shoulders should be pulled back. You don't want to be starting from here. You want to start with that shoulder blade nice and far back. And then you're going to stand sideways to the wall with the band on the outside arm. And all you're going to do is just pull that arm outward, opening up the shoulder and kind of squeezing the shoulder blade at the back. And then slowly come back to center. So it just looks like this. So that's exercise number 1. And I would do somewhere around 2 sets of 10 to 15 of these, or maybe even a third set if you're getting pretty good at it. So that's number 1. Number 2, I'm just going to switch arms so that you can still see my face. You're just going to take it in your other arm or turn around so you're facing this way and do the other way. Okay, so this one you're just using the front half of your rotator cuff. So underneath the shoulder blade there's a muscle that comes through and wraps around to the front of the shoulder, as well as your pecs and your lats also pull this way. So again, you can add a towel roll here if you would like to, just to keep your arm in the right position, and then you're just pulling towards the front, opening up, pulling towards the front. And again, make sure you always start with good posture, so you don't want to be hunched over in the shoulders at all for this. And as you notice, my elbow and my arm pretty much stay in the same position. I'm just rotating on this axis through my arm. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. If you move your anchor point up a little bit to about shoulder height, you can do one that's more for the shoulder blade or in between the shoulder blade muscles. So your traps, your rhomboids, things like that help just keep your shoulder blade moving correctly when you're lifting your arm overhead. So you start with your arms straight, and then you're just going to pull them wide and squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back. Somewhat like this. So one thing to watch out for is you don't want to be shrugging in your shoulders, so you don't want to be coming up here. You want to keep those down and back, and you want to make sure you're getting a squeeze between the shoulder blades like this. You don't want to just be like keeping your arms here and then pulling out. You want to get that squeeze. Secondly, from this position, you can do, let's actually put it up higher for this one. All the way at the top, in this case, will work better. So this one will be another rotator cuff angle that you can work. So if you put your arm up like this, you can pull forward to kind of mimic more of a throwing motion. So again, my axis is through my arm bone, and I'm trying to just rotate my arm around that axis, keeping good posture. Okay. Now I'm going to move it all the way to the bottom. Okay, and do the opposite. So now I'm pulling up. Here's my axis, rotating up and around that axis, coming back forward. Okay. Nice. Okay, and then I'm gonna actually switch to yellow because this one's a little bit harder. So the other direction I want to kind of work on my shoulder blades is going into that overhead position. So I'm going to use 2 of these again and go with my arms straight up, trying not to arch my back too much, keeping my butt tucked in and my abs pulled in. So it's going to look like this. Okay, and at the top I'm trying really hard to squeeze my shoulder blades down and back, not shrugging them up like that. Abs engaged, butt tucked in, working those shoulder blades. Okay. Lastly, at the bottom, it's a good one to do to get for that overhead kind of motion, a diagonal, because we kind of went straight plane there. So now we're going to get a little more of a diagonal. So this one, you start by your hip, nice good posture again, and then you're just pulling that band up and out to the side in a diagonal motion. Squeezing that shoulder blade at the top, working on not shrugging up, keeping that shoulder down. Okay, so those are kind of my top 4 or 5, I don't even know how many I did just now, to help work on the rotator cuff and the shoulder stabilizers to prevent injury for overhead work or overhead sports. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment. Thank you for watching and have a great day.